Okay guys, just a quick video on valve installation. So we're going to be installing one here. That's not valve number 12, that's our clearance. We'll get to that in a bit. So we have our valve already gone through here. We're going to put our spring on today. We have our valve compressor on here. I just want to show you guys how that works basically. You would have your, I have to zoom out first. There you go. So you'd have your half moon little application here, where you'd have your turning piece here that'll go on your valve stem, and then you'd have this bottom one where it holds onto the center of the valve on that side. So you'd hook that in there, your valve would sit on there pretty much in the position just like that, and that'll be on the center valve. Okay, so to get that in again, there we go, focus on that. Gonna lock that zoom in place there. Yeah, so your valve spring actually does have a direction. So in this stage we have two flat ends. I forgot what that's called, but it's a certain type of spring, and if you look through on the side, your coil spacing is pretty much symmetrical. Though in your diesel applications where you have something that's a bit more heavy, or your valve spring's a lot bigger, you would have coils on the bottom side being closer together than the top side. Now, I haven't done the beehive springs on these ones or the Calford cans or anything, because that's going to affect my airflow and I have to get a retune. So it's something we can do in the future, but for this application we're not going to be looking into that. So we've got our factory springs here. They would have a force. You probably could measure that on a little scale, like how much force it's putting out. But in this case we do not have a direction, but do keep in mind some springs do have direction. So if you were the coils that were closer, you'd put together, because the reason is as these heat up, your heat from the engine does affect your spring rate. So spring rate is basically like how stiff the spring is, like the rate at which the spring moves. And on your bigger diesel applications you would see these a lot more. Automotive not so much, but bigger diesels definitely you would see that. Yeah, so we're just going to slide this one in. So we have a valve stem seal that was on there, just to basically show you guys what the old valve stems look like. They are like these ones here, so there, but you need a special tool to get them off. Otherwise you have to like dig a tool in the bottom of the head and then you'll damage it. I did not have that tool, so I had the engineers do them for me. It's not really a big thing, so it's pretty much a good service to do. I will cover valve stem seals then in future more in depth. Okay, so you'd have your spring on there, then you would have your, I forgot what this thing's called now, valve lock, cotter lock, I forgot what the thing's called. But yeah, so you'd have your spacing on there, on that, and then you basically would put your tool on there, so at the bottom of the valve, put that on there, turn it in. So you want to make sure you have enough travel. So I'm actually out of travel on this side, so I'm going to add it on this side. Now you do get other valve compressors, which they have like a little turny hand which you could put on, and that'll give you your indication, what am I saying, that'll give you a movement. Now you don't use your movement to set the valve, you just use that to set the position on it, to hold it in place, and then you would basically rotate the bottom end pin like that to get it in where she needs to be. So that would be how you get your, I'm trying to stay out the sun, it's a bit early morning sun here, kind of hoping I can get this engine done today. So I say that every time and hardly ever gets done. Yeah, so around about there, you don't want to compress the spring fully, just enough to give you space to work around it. And then we have our valve cotter locks. I hope that's on camera. That show, yeah, show. Okay, little Ziploc bag there, and that will basically help us to put it in. The light is pretty bad here, so really sorry about that. Let's get two of these out. Now it's kind of a thing in the trade when you put these in. They're very hard to do just straight in, so I'm actually going to see, can I get a better angle on this? Let me just see if I can get a better angle on this. Okay, so we're going to try that. The sun's making it a bit hard for us here, but let's see how we can do that. So we would take a little tiny little pointy device like this, and we would put a little bit of MS grease on that tip, and then maneuver our cotter locks in place, or valve locks, or half moons, whatever you call them. I used to call them half moons, but yeah. So a little bit of dab of grease like that. Put on your valve cotter lock like that. Okay, so you got it in, where's the camera? In like that. And we're going to put a little bit of dab of grease on top of that cotter lock. And then when you put that on the shaft, or the shaft, however you guys pronounce it, it'll basically, the grease will help that thing stay in place where she needs to be. Alright, so we got that pretty much like that. And you can then rotate the tip of this to any angle that you want. So we can go upside down, it's going to stay on, and then just gently maneuver it into where you need it to be. Let's see if I can just get that thing to just slot in there, and just like that, she's on. Okay, give it a bit of rotation, so you can actually like move this around so you can get in the bottom there. And then obviously keep in mind that the spring is movable when you do that. So let's do that again on the other side. So we still got a little bit of lubricant on there. Grease, what am I saying? Put a little dab onto that. Now, in this case, we're kind of using like a magnetic driver, a little magnetic screwdriver. Probably not the best thing, because the magnetic things does make it harder to get it off. Okay, as you put it on, it'll just pull off. So now that angle is not going to work so well, so we're going to rotate this little pin there, cotter lock like that, and now we can get right in there, stick her on the bottom end, and then just guide her into place, just like that, and then she'll stay in there. Right, so now what you want to do, as you unwind the spiral on the side, you want to make sure that the valves go nice into the locks and don't press the locks out. You see they're kind of rotating there, so I want to make sure they're not coming loose while doing it like that. See, they're coming loose. So I'm just gonna push that one in a little bit more. That's in there. That's in there. I'm saying like that. I don't know if the camera can see it because the sun's a bit bad. And I'm just gonna unwind her. Just like that. Take out the pin, take out that piece, and then you want to make sure that she's in there properly. Righto, clip this piece off there. That's supposed to just clip off. There we go. New tools, always hard to work with. And then slide that out. And that is how you install a valve. Alright guys, so you also will see that how low this one is here compared to there, because your exhaust valves on this side have a bit more clearance on the right hand side, but we'll get to the valve clearance next. So if you want to install valves, that'll be the way to do it. Hope this helps someone if you're doing like a weekend build, and then yeah, have a good day guys, good luck, see you on the next one.